Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life, and welcome back to the channel. So, here I wanted to break down this chart from 2018, where T Mobile presented at Deutsche Telekom's Market Capital Day. Now, I know this is pre-merger, but even post-merger, a lot of these numbers didn't drastically change, except the suburban and the urban, which is mostly the where T-Mobile has gained most of their shares as a standalone company, and that's mostly on the consumer postpaid side. So that, of course, went up in percentage because of the Sprint merger and the customers that they gained by merging the two companies and creating a new company. But before that, as a standalone, T-Mobile categorized certain segments that they competed in, and they put percentages of share that they have in those segments. So in small town rural, as a standalone, T-Mobile had 7% share. Military, which they have a very compelling offer, even as a standalone, they had 50% off military plans, 8% share, very low. 55 and over is something that they introduced as a standalone as well as one of part of the Un-carrier moves. Only 8% share. And then business, they had a total of 9% share, but that's only because at that time they were more successful on the small business side, the SMB, but they were only a 4% share player in enterprise, of 4%. Keep that in mind. Suburban, 14%, doing a lot better there. They had a more denser, better network in those parts, so that makes sense. And then the urban, about 22%. So even with all the millions of ads that T-Mobile was doing on a yearly basis ever since around that 2013 timeframe, they were adding 4 or 5 million postpaid customers yearly. They only were able to obtain the share numbers that you see here. And outside of suburban and the urban environment, T-Mobile was a single-digit share player in every single other segment. Now, with the Sprint merger, like I said, the urban suburban's a little higher, but everything else stayed pretty much the same. They did, in the rural share, Sprint had more rural share prior to the merger. So T-Mobile is roughly, the last time they updated it, they were at about a 15% share on a small rural. So keep that in mind. That did bump up, and they want to get to 20% by 2025. But everything else is very much the same. So why I wanted to break that down is I just wanted you guys to see how much upside T-Mobile has, and it's crazy. The fact that they are such a big company, or a bigger company, I should say, today, due to the Sprint merger, they have a total of, I think I checked, as of the last quarterly earnings, they have 112 million total customers, with still that insane amounts of upside that you see here. And this chart doesn't even include fixed wireless access and the amount of upside that they have in that business. That wasn't even included. So I kind of want you guys to take that in to see where T-Mobile can take it. And I'm not even saying that T-Mobile can take over the industry. I'm just saying the amount of more success that T-Mobile can gain for themselves now, and the amounts more competition that T-Mobile can bring to small town rural areas. They can bring to, military and family members with the discount, because now they have more of the Sprint was better amongst the military bases, so they can, especially here where I'm located, Sprint had like 4 sites amongst the military base. T-Mobile had 0. So that can bring more competition to the military members just on network alone for them to continue growing that. Then over 55 and up as well. That's more competition just based on the better network that T-Mobile is able to provide with the Sprint assets. And then business. That's where T-Mobile is likely, in my opinion, to compete the most fiercest, the most aggressive, and they want to do it very quickly. They believe in their network. They're very confident in it. They've been investing since 2020 very heavily, and they're going to try to get some of those enterprises to switch to T-Mobile. They're going to try very hard, very aggressively. And the fact, and you guys know, it's not rocket science. Sprint didn't have any huge share on enterprise or any business for that matter. Maybe T-Mobile gained 1%, maybe. And I'm speculating here. I just don't think that Sprint had that much of a huge asset in terms of enterprise and small business. They may have gave T-Mobile some share additionally, but it's not anything that would bump this much higher. So there's insane amounts of upside and customers and businesses for T-Mobile to get that it makes sense for T-Mobile to stay within that Un-carrier mindset, to continue building the brand, to continue marketing. And we've seen that with the business marketing. They've gotten way more aggressive on marketing for business customers because they now have the capacity. They feel they have the capacity and they have the scale now to compete for enterprise. And enterprise, pretty much of all sizes, Fortune 500, Fortune 50, whatever. T-Mobile feels confident that they can compete for that business in 2022 and beyond. 2023 is, of course, right around the corner, but T-Mobile feels very confident that they can compete. And they said recently, they're not looking to defend its position in the top 100 markets, which is, mainly urban, and of course some suburban is included in that too. But they're looking to extend that leadership in those parts, because that's where they've gained most amount of their growth. And then post Sprint merger, they gained a ton more share, which boosted them to second or first place in overall share in a lot of the markets in the top 100. Or, like, for example, El Paso, it extended it. They already had the largest market share in my market, but the Sprint merger extended that lead further out. So now in my market, for an example, I haven't gotten the latest update. The latest market share update I've seen is from around October, end of October. And the closest competitor to T-Mobile in terms of market share is like 20% away, and that's Verizon. T-Mobile still has a 20% lead over Verizon in my market. That's huge amounts of market share. And T-Mobile is in a position, as crazy as this sounds, to extend that lead. They have capacity to further grow that lead. Now, I don't see that happening. I just don't see any one carrier having 60, 70, 80% of market share, and not in this saturated competitive market. It's just too competitive. But, T-Mobile pursuing the under-penetrated markets is a very, excuse me, very successful pedigree for T-Mobile, in my opinion. It allows them to continue operating the way they've been operating. It allows them to continue that Un-carrier movement because they want to look attractive and attract these companies and the military members and the customer that's 55 and over. They want to attract them. So they have several marketing plays. They can, one quarter they can market towards that 55 and over crowd. And then they can throw in some military marketing because they have it broken down in individual segments. And I think that's very smart. It's almost like, some say that Verizon and AT&T could be a lot smarter if they attacked some of these smaller markets with regional marketing, right? Offer some regional deals that nationally are not available. And that's how I feel T-Mobile sometimes is breaking down these segments. They're giving the 55 and over crowd a deal that's not available to everyone. So of course it's not regional because that offer is nationwide, but they're attacking that specific segment, which I think is very smart. And that 55 and over segment, guess what? They also have access to fixed wireless access. So it's a smart play to make for further driving upsells and revenue where it actually is a value to that customer. It's not just trying to sell them into a higher, more expensive plan. It's just simply, no, hey, we have this. You're getting wireless with us today. You're 55 and over. This is the plan pricing, so we're going to save you money. And hey, look, if you bundle that in with our fixed wireless access, you get this for $25. Hey, what's your cable monthly bill? Boom, there's additional savings. So the conversion rates there have to be very high. 90+% if I had to take a guess. Because why wouldn't you take it? If it's available, if you qualify, and it's cheaper than the cable provider that you're with, maybe even a fiber provider, it's just a win-win. So huge upside going into 2023 for T-Mobile. I mean huge upside. Unbelievable upside in certain instances, especially enterprise. Huge upside. And even if T-Mobile only gets to 10% enterprise, that is still a win in business overall. It's a win. And they want to get to 20% by 2025, but of course that includes business overall. That includes small business, and like I think, and I'm very confident when I say that, I think T-Mobile is going to really strike big time and look very attractive to small businesses moving forward. Now, as the bigger company, the value play, having the network now to back it up with this huge amount of capacity, I think they're going to really drive that home, and that becomes a big win for them in the future. So let me know what you think about this now that you've seen that chart, now that you see T-Mobile's upside. As they are already a bigger company now, they still have huge amounts of upside to go and get for the company. So stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.